KGW News at 11.
And thanks for joining us. I'm David Molto.
And I'm Laurel Porter. As strong east winds are expected tomorrow, utility companies are planning preemptive power shutoffs to reduce the risk of their lines sparking wildfires.
PGE customers, you want to have a look at this map. All the areas in pink should be prepared to lose power, and you may already be without electricity by the time you wake up. Portland in the top center here, by the way. PGE going to start shutting things off around 3 in the morning. As many as 30,000 customers will be affected. Pacific Power also warning of outages for more than 12,000 customers. The utility plans to start cutting power by 6 a.m. in the most wind-prone areas.
Now, this is all subject to change, of course, with officials warning now is the time to prepare. Catherine Cook has a look at what officials are doing to make that happen.
As the moon rises over Sheridan, so do worries over impending power outages.
And it gets dark out here. If there's no lights, I mean, you literally can't see like this.
Sheridan resident Marilyn Moore got a call from PGE saying to expect outages as early as Friday morning. With high winds and extreme danger in the forecast, both PGE and Pacific Power hope the outages will decrease the chance of sparking fires in parts of the Gorge and Willamette Valley.
I'm actually excited that there's some preemptive stuff happening compared to 2 years ago when it kind of hit us by surprise. So our community be better prepared to respond accordingly.
Patrick Schrader is assistant principal at Sheridan High School. He helped PGE crews as they parked this mobile resource unit on school grounds. Residents who lose power can come here to charge phones, use the bathroom, pick up ice and water.
We love that our school is a community resource for people and they know where it's at.
Both PGE and Pacific Power are trying to assure customers that they're ready for what's to come.
We make decisions about where we maintain vegetation, where we make system improvements. So how do we continue to harden our system to reduce the risk of wildfire?
On Thursday, Governor Kate Brown urged all Oregonians to be as ready as they can be for whatever Friday and the days that follow may bring.
Go to bed tonight with a plan in the event your family needs to evacuate or you wake up without power. And please, please check on friends and family members who may be vulnerable or medically fragile to ensure their needs are addressed.
Sheridan City officials are asking residents to cut back on outdoor water use because their water treatment plant is in an outage zone. Also, utility companies are asking residents everywhere to make sure their information is up to date, phone numbers and email addresses in case they need to get emergency notifications. And finally, they're asking for patience. Even after the wind dies down, they're going to need to check every power line before they restore power, and it could take a while. In Sheridan, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
A lot going on tonight. Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Matt Zafino now.
And Matt, we're waiting for those east winds to develop tonight. Does it still look like we're on for tomorrow morning?
It does, yeah. We're on track. The timing really hasn't changed. It's still pretty good tonight. The winds are basically calm even in the Gorge and all around the area. Still some north winds at McMinnville, but nothing out of the ordinary for this time of the year, this time of the night. But look at our wind forecast hour by hour. Light northwesterlies at 9 a.m. Then suddenly, boom, they go easterly between 9 and 10, and they stay east or northeast right on through the afternoon with gusts 34, 37, 37. By 3 o'clock, still gusting to 36. We'll run this out another 7 hours, and you can see those strong east winds continue into the evening hours. Not sure why 8 o'clock has dropped off, but then it's still going at 9 and 10 o'clock. And in fact, the windiest time will likely be tomorrow night, about 24 hours from now. So yeah, it is on schedule to really pick up during the morning hours tomorrow. Here's another way of looking at it graphically. You can see where we got the darkest colors. That's where we're getting the strongest winds. This is 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and we've got some magentas over the Gorge and the Cascades. That's where the winds will be strongest. And then as we go into Saturday, even early Saturday morning, the winds become increasingly confined to areas near the Gorge and the gaps in the Coast Range and up in the Cascades. And then as we go through the day on Saturday, even by 11 o'clock in the morning, the winds are really backing off. So this will be a shorter duration event compared to 2 years ago, and the winds won't be as strong. But they don't need to be to cause problems with fire. Of course, you have a fire that will spread rapidly. Now, this is the smoke forecast. It's going to be hazy tomorrow, not from any fires nearby, but we've got the Chilliwack fire and the Pasayten Complex fire up on the border with Canada. That is going to send smoke our way as those north and northeasterly winds kick on in. So yes, a lot of smoke. We've got the fire weather warning continuing from tomorrow morning until Saturday. Hot east winds tomorrow and into Saturday. Extreme fire danger. The winds will ease during the day Saturday, guys.
A lot to keep an eye on. Thank you, Matt. And with the winds, the danger isn't just new fires sparking, but those existing ones growing out of control. One of the large fires already burning Double Creek in the northeastern part of Oregon. We've been following this one all week. It has now topped 100,000 acres. That's almost doubling in size since yesterday. It's also forced evacuations. We're keeping an eye, too, on the Cedar Creek fire. That's about 60 miles east of Eugene, 10 to 12 miles east of the community of Oak Ridge. It's also grown significantly, I should say, now at more than 31,000 acres. Tonight, people in the greater Oak Ridge and West Fir areas put on evacuation notice. They're now at a level 1. That means be ready to go. Residents say they are watching very closely for changes.
All the time I was growing up, we never had fires this big. Once in a while we would, and it was concerning, but, there was never any worry.
The Cedar Creek fire has already caused evacuations in recreation spots in the Willamette and Deschutes National Forests. More than 800 crews are fighting that blaze.
And tonight there's also an air quality advisory in place for both Northeast and Southwest Oregon. Here's a map of the counties affected. This is all because of wildfire smoke, which can irritate eyes, lungs, and make some medical conditions worse. We expect the advisory to last until at least Saturday.
For continuing wildfire coverage along with links to power outage maps, just text the word power to the number on your screen, 503-226-5088. Then we will text you a link back with what you need to know. You can also download the KGW News app for updates as they come in. Let's get to some breaking news now out of Ridgefield, Washington. Teachers there say they will go on strike starting tomorrow, and classes are canceled after another bargaining session tonight. The teachers union says some progress was made, but they say the district is still refusing to provide more funding for mental health supports and special education students. The district says schools will be closed until further notice.
Turning now to world news, where people continue to mourn the death of Queen Elizabeth II, Britain's longest-serving monarch. As night fell in London, people stood outside Buckingham Palace singing "God Save the Queen" and leaving flowers at the gate. The 96-year-old died at her summer estate in Scotland. The Queen reigned for 70 years. Tributes are pouring in from all over the world, and flags are flying at half-staff in her honor. Britain is now in an official period of mourning that lasts until the Queen's funeral. Her son, 73-year-old Prince Charles, automatically becomes the new king. In the wake of Queen Elizabeth's death, many here locally mourn her loss. That's especially true for those born and raised in the United Kingdom. Our Alma McCarty caught up with two women, a mother and daughter, who say it's been an emotional day.
Thousands of miles away, and yet still feeling the grief and shock of losing Her Majesty, the Queen.
And I thought maybe it was just that she wasn't feeling good, but then when she'd passed, we were all sad.
I just started to cry. It was just so, I didn't know what to do, It's like, you knew it was going to happen at some point, but I wasn't prepared.
Over the years, Irene Silver and her daughter, Jackie Hillsbury, celebrated major milestones for the royal family, sharing a particular love for Queen Elizabeth II. Irene was born in Oxford and grew up in Kent.
So I was 9 years old when she came to the throne, and so she's always just been the Queen. It's supposed to be a great day, but it poured with rain. But people still had their street parties and their celebrations, and it was on TV.
Jackie lived in the UK until she was 8, but considers herself a proud royalist. Always looking up to and aspiring to be like the Queen.
Just a very powerful woman. Not only was she a leader, but she's also a grandmother, a mother, and loved her animals, and just an all-around wonderful woman.
Both women went all out for the latest royal celebration, the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, just this year.
I actually had a tea party here at my house, and I had a cardboard cutout of the Queen. It was such a significant thing, and it was just so great to be able to celebrate that.
Now, They're looking for ways to honor her memory with charitable works in this community.
It's going to be strange not saying God save the Queen. Most people have grown up with the Queen, you know, so it's going to be different.
Both are part of the Daughters of the British Empire. It is an American society and philanthropic nonprofit. In fact, Irene is the president for the state of Oregon. The two plan to head back to England next month to visit family.
You know, it's
David?
nice to see some smiles and laughter there on a day that has been so difficult and overwhelming, frankly, for so many people across the world today.
And you know, a lot of us here in the newsroom were talking about how we feel sad because she's been a part of our lives for our whole life. So thank you, Alma, for that.
Yeah, and you know, I've been reading too, and one of the things that stuck out, somebody put it like this: she is a great lady that the world, well, the likes of, will never see again. Not quite
True.
like her, right?
True,
70
yes.
years on.